Maze Runner. Now, The Maze Runner follows a boy named Thomas who is dropped into a community of boys where his memory is erased until he finds out that he's part of a maze. So he joins the forces of the other boys to try and find a way out of the maze. Now, for some odd reason, I was really looking forward to The Maze Runner. Looking at the trailers, I was kind of really excited for it. It looked fun. It looked really adventurous. And I'm glad to say that The Maze Runner delivers on most of those accounts. I really enjoyed The Maze Runner. What I like about The Maze Runner the most is that even though it's a young adult film, it sets itself apart from the young adult genre in a way where it takes chances, where it's gritty and dark. And you know, I like that it takes chances because even though it's a PG-13 movie, it has a lot of grittiness, has a lot of darkness, and the action in this movie is kind of gritty for a PG-13 young adult movie, which I love because one of my faults with the Hunger Games, more so with the Hunger Games movies in general, I felt that even though they had the action in those movies, it kind of panned away using shaky cam, using things like that to pan away of the true action in the movie. But The Maze Runner, even though it's a PG-13 movie, it takes it to a level of being gritty even though it's a PG-13 movie, and I love that fact. And I like the fact that it executes on its premise. Now, unlike The Giver, which I like The Giver, Maze Runner executes on its premise where it has a story, it follows it, and it executes. And I've got to say, the direction in this movie was good because not a lot of movies, especially in the young adult genre, can do something like this. If you look at Twilight, look at maybe Divergent or any other young adult movies, they really don't hit home. Some of them can be too sappy, some of them can be off key. But this one, I felt that the tone and the story, I thought was really solid. And another reason why I say it sets itself apart from other young adult movies is the fact that it has a lot of cursing in it. And usually with young adult movies, you don't get a lot of cursing. I mean, there was a boatload of cursing in this movie, and I think, okay, it's not something you expect from a young adult movie. But you know what? It worked, and it took chances, and I gotta say, it paid off. Now the movie stars Dylan O'Brien. Now this is like his third movie, and first movie that he's actually featured as the main star. And honestly, I think he did a good, solid job. Of course, for a person who is his third feature movie, there's some acting points where he can get better at, but for the most part he was solid. And for a cast that's pretty much young and in their teens, I thought they did a pretty decent job. And like I said before, the action in this movie is pretty top notch for a young adult PG-13 movie, and I gotta say, it delivers on the action. Now the CGI, at 1 or 2 points you can tell that it's a CGI scene, but for the most part, I thought the CGI was really well executed, along with some of the maze scenes as well. I thought that even though it's a young adult movie, it gets dark. Not too dark where it's gloom and doom like The Dark Knight or any other depressing movies, but for a PG-13 young adult movie, it goes there for as much as it can be, because it hits the level and stays at that with consistent tone. And I gotta say, it does it well, because like I said before, young adult movies, either it goes too sappy or it goes too lighthearted. I thought this one was very straightforward and very in the middle, where the tone was set in the right pace. As far as flaws go, sometimes this movie can be a little bit too melodramatic, but that's what you pretty much expect from a young adult movie, honestly. And sometimes I felt that the movie tried to end on a number of occasions, and sometimes you kind of feel it's runtime when it does that. But other than that, I had a pretty good, decent time with The Maze Runner. I felt that it executed its premise well, had good solid acting, it was dark, gritty in tone. So for me, I'm going to give The Maze Runner a good strong 3.5 out of 5 stars. I feel that it's one of the best young adult movies out there, aside from the first Hunger Games. So guys, if you've seen The Maze Runner, let me know what you guys think of it. Like it, hate it, though it's mediocre, comment below and let me know what you guys think. So as always guys, please rate, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you guys on the flip side.